Hi there, I'm here with Ron Brown, the Artistic Director of Evidence Dance Company, which is coming to the Joyce shortly, February 8th through the 13th. Ron, thanks so much for being. Great. So I want to talk a little bit about the new piece that you're working on, that you're going to be premiering at the Joyce, On Earth Together. So music plays a prominent role in a lot of your works, it seems to me. And this piece is set to music by Stevie Wonder. So we're wondering, how did that come about? Did the music come to you and you felt you wanted to make a dance, or did the idea come first? Did the movement come first?
The new work really was initiated by Renee Williams from the Music Center in LA. Stevie Wonder, I think, had seen the Ailey Company there. This is maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And he mentioned to her that he would love to do something with the dance. And she spoke to our agent at the time, Pam Green, and said, would he consider doing something to Stevie Wonder's music? And I had a solo that I did for Fresh Tracks in 1987 called Next.
Oh, wow.
Right, to Stevie Wonder, They Won't Go When I Go. And then maybe 10 years ago, I did something for a late friend, Dr. Johnson, down at Howard University for her company, Images of Cultural Artistry, to Evil. So I'd done these 2 solos, but never something to one artist. Right. So I told Renee and Pam, of course, but let me figure out what it's going to be, what it could be. And then I just started writing and listing the music that I wanted to use. And I thought the title was Wonderful Place, but then someone recommended that that would not be a great title. And so I said, okay, let me look at some of the lyrics. Then On Earth Together kind of jumped out at me. And the company had just come back from a Dance Motion USA tour in South Africa, Senegal, and Nigeria. And then that's just kind of made sense that this new piece could be called that and have a kind of resonance.
Great. So you actually brought up what I was going to ask you about next, and that is the fact that your company just toured to Senegal, Nigeria, South Africa as one of the 3 companies taking part in this new project, Dance Motion USA. Can you tell us a little bit about that project and your experience traveling?
Mm-hmm. It was amazing when Joe Malillo from BAM called me. I think I was on the way to the Joyce Theater several years ago, and he said, I have this opportunity to recommend companies for this tour. And I love the work, but I haven't presented the company. Would you be interested? I said, of course. And he said, I'm really excited, but let me tell you where. And he said, he mentioned the countries. I was like, oh my goodness. Because of the movement vocabulary, it was just kind of divine that these were the places that we're going to go to. He let us know that it was going to be a lot of teaching. We're gone for 28 days and perform maybe 5 times, and 1 day off. So most of it was teaching. Yeah. And so it was really, really incredible. In Senegal, the company taught at cultural centers where they invited dance companies and their members. And so maybe 30 people in the class. And then in Nigeria, when we arrived on this first day, on the schedule it said there's going to be 57 to 11-year-olds, something like that.
50.
Right. No, but there's maybe 75, right?
Oh my gosh.
And you get there, and they're in these uniforms, in yellow chairs, and we just go, it's amazing how generous they were. Yeah. People of all generations. It was amazing to really offer the work there and have an exchange.
That's great. So your website says that you started making dances when you're in the 2nd grade. So undoubtedly your approach to choreography has matured and developed since that time. But we're sort of wondering if there's anything that you've retained or would like to return to from the creative sensibilities of that 2nd grade self that started making dances.
The interesting thing about that first dance was I had gone on a trip to see the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. And I think I went home and made a dance to Nikki Giovanni's My Father's House, right? Just because, you can make a dance about church and people, right? And that thing kind of stayed with me. And then a backstory is that in my 3rd piece for the Ailey Company, Ife My Heart, was maybe 18 minutes. and I had talked to the production team at Ailey, saying, "Oh, this piece is shorter than what I think Miss Jamieson likes from an artist. You know, she wants an act, which is 25, 30 minutes. I said, oh, I want to, this 18 minutes feels complete."
Yeah.
The first day of rehearsal, she came over to me. You know, we've known each other for a long time. She put her arm around my shoulder. She said, "Well, I hear the piece is 18 minutes. And I said, "Yeah, I spoke to someone on the production team, and they said, you know, Ulysses Dove has pieces that are that short." And she said, "Well, you spoke to who?" Right, but the thing is,
She's the person to speak
right,
with,
right.
right?
So I said, okay, so what if I could find that piece of music that I choreographed to when I was in the second grade,
Oh, wow.
right? And then I go home. I love music, and so on my shelf, I find a CD of Nikki Giovanni, her poetry, still sealed, with the song. And so Ife My Heart is one of the pieces we're going to do during our season. And so that ended up being the opening of the piece.
Oh, wow.
And so for me, that kind of circle of what I'm connected to from when I was in second grade, just believing that dance can be a way to tell stories about people, right?
Yeah.
It's still there. I think that became the anchor of what I wanted to do.
Wow. That's amazing. So in second grade, you made this piece inspired by an Ailey performance, and then you end up setting the piece.
Right. It was.
That's
and,
it.
and I thought when I first made Grace, the idea of doing Grace, and we're doing Grace on the program here too. I was like, how did I get here? Right, from that little boy who just, oh, I can make dances, and then second grade, and now I'm doing a dance on this company, choreographing on them, and then now I've choreographed 4 pieces on them, and those 2 of those pieces are in our repertory. It's kind of amazing journey that I could not have ever imagined.
Wow, that's amazing. So another piece that you're going to perform here is Water from 1999, and I got a chance to see some of it in rehearsal yesterday, which was wonderful. So there's a poem in Water by Cheryl Boyce Taylor, and I was wondering if you could talk about what drew you to the poem and why you chose to set dance to the poem.
Hmm. Well, it was interesting. I knew that Cheryl Boyce Taylor was working on a book when I approached her about this new piece I was working on, and all kinds of terrible things were going on with men being found in the rivers in Mississippi, and kind of violence in communities. And we started talking about the healing nature of water. And I thought she had this piece already, but then when I had the book yesterday, I saw that we commissioned it.
Oh, really?
So she wrote it for the piece after these conversations we had, right? And but we talked about her relationship with her father, my relationship with my father, and how we need to heal each other when there's some kind of a rift or this kind of longing for something in a relationship that you feel is missing. So I've been talking to the company about when those things are wrong or feel unsettled, it's really on us to heal each other, and water can be a metaphor for that, and something literal too. When you wash your hands before you eat or before you pray, you wash your feet, you wash your face in some places. Baptism, yeah. And so all of the metaphors for that, we thought we could use that to really showcase the ability for us to heal each other.
Yeah. So, as you're sort of talking about evolution, this is your 25th anniversary of the company,
Yes.
which is really unbelievable. I kind of can't believe that. So I'm wondering, as you're looking back on those 25 years, are there sort of moments that you can look back on that are especially clear for you, that sort of signify why you do what you do? You've already talked about your second grade experience, but is there like one other thing that sort of, as you look back on this time, that just sticks out as a shining moment?
Do you know I think when moments that kind of crystallize things coming together without me really, really planning it.
Yeah.
Like I had started writing a book of poetry called Walking Out the Dark in 1995. And then I realized that it was a dance. And I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to dance this thing out? And in it, there was this image of, from Malidoma Some's book, Water in the Spirit, of him being buried as a part of an initiation in the earth. And I saw this dream of us, the dancer, being covered in dirt and then coming up out of it. And then I was able to do that, right? And so we had this piece, Walking Out the Dark, that we have done at the Joyce. We did it at DTW. And so that kind of like, this is a poem, and no, it's a dance, and then to have it manifest is kind of unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then to be here 25 years when I have a dancer who's 25 years old, right? When I looked at this passport, I was like, oh, my goodness. He was born the month after my first concert.
Wow.
And so that is really kind of mind-blowing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So you had a lot of moments where you kind of envisioned something and then you had those things come true.
Yes.
That's great. So thank you so much for joining us here with Ron Brown. Please come to the show February 8th through the 13th here at the Joyce Theater in Chelsea. Thanks so much, Ron, for being here.
Thank you very much.